This past Saturday here in the suburbs of Indianapolis, we saw in this very venue, the Fishers Event Center, a first of its kind event. The 2025 Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match took place. And right here once again, inside the Fishers Event Center, kicking off the second half of the season for the Vegas Thrill and the Indy Ignite. So glad to bring you Pro Volleyball Federation action on Fox Sports 1 alongside the national champion and the three-time Olympian, Holly McPeak. I'm AJ Cannell, and there's a little bit of a continuation, Holly, from that all-star match into this one.
AJ, you're right, because we've got two of the best setters in the league. Alicia Glass-Childress for the Las Vegas Thrill team, Sydney Hilly for the Indy Ignite. These are two players who know how to win, know how to set up their players to score, and they're two of the best in the business.
And let's take a look, though, at who they're going to be feeding, because there's so much talent all across these two rosters. More talent this year in the PVF than we have seen. And for Vegas, let's look at Hannah Maddox first and foremost.
Hannah Maddox has been a revelation for the Las Vegas team. She's a high flyer, dynamic athlete who can hurt you in so many ways. She's got a world-class serve. She's lethal out of the back row and averages 4 points per set, puts up a big block, and she's a player who can really hurt you on the other side of the net. In big volleyball news, we get to see Anna DeBeer back on the court for Indy Ignite after leading her Louisville team to the national championship final in December. She was injured in the semifinal, but has worked hard to get back. We get to see her tonight, and I can't wait to see what she brings to the court.
There are so many connections between that national championship match, which took place just over 100 miles down the road in Louisville, and then this match tonight. Take a look at our Ren Athletics starting lineups. Helena Scott was in that match as well, playing for the Cardinals. She gets her second start, I should say, for the Indy Ignite, replacing Kylie Murr the last couple of matches in the starting lineup. And Nina Chajic playing some really good volleyball as well for Indy. Meanwhile, for the Vegas Thrill, it is the first career start for Mary Schroll at libero for the Vegas Thrill. And alongside Hannah Maddox at outside, keep an eye on Charity Looper, also played for Louisville in that national final. Cameron Hann was on the other side, playing for the Penn State Nittany Lions and winning that match.
So many rookies making noise across this league.
And a lot of those talented rookies, many of the all-stars, not just the setters, involved in this match. Vegas, a league high 5 different all-stars. And right back here in this building in the Fishers Event Center, getting started with Lane Van Buskirk in the middle for Vegas.
Passing is a skill for Vegas that kind of comes and goes, and when it's going, they can really score at a high clip and get their middles involved like you saw the first play.
Hannah Maddox has a powerful jump serve, but a miss there to even it up early on. So Anna DeBeer comes back for the Ignite. They're still missing Lekator member Mena, who may be the favorite for MVP through the first half of the season. Ajani Teeler is out with that swing.
Ajani Teeler on the right side for the Indy Ignite has been so impressive all season long. That time trying to go deep to that corner, just missing long.
DeBeer with the pass, and she is sent back.
Beautiful late block by the Las Vegas Thrill. First swing for Anna DeBeer. Cameron Hannah puts up a big one, and then Berkeley Oblad gets late, gets her hands in the right spot, takes it away from DeBeer.
Oblad was playing here, Team Shondell in the All-Star match, the winning team. The aggregate scoring format as Lydia Martin is chased down by Hannah nicely for the save. Back set to Teeler, off the hands. Childress with a dig. Cameron Hannah blasts one towards Chajic, picks it up. Free ball coming, Vegas is ahead in this point. Oblad. Oh, it's some hang time there before Lydia Martin puts it away.
Vegas Thrill were ahead in that play, running their middle in transition. But Elena Scott in for the Indy Ignite. Here's the free ball. Dig this ball out of the middle, and they're able to transition it right back out of the middle quick.
Charity Looper comes back the other way, terminates quickly. And we had two teams that really had strong beginnings to the season. Indy, the newest team in the league, the expansion Indy Ignite with DeBeer going into the wall once again. Vegas is actually the second newest team in the league. They were the last team to be established going into last season.
Both these teams have young rosters, but here you see DeBeer again trying to go seam. She's going to find her way. She has not played since December. She will find her rhythm and find ways to score.
Taylor with a D-ball attack. Emotional moments, of course, at the end of that NCAA season with DeBeer getting injured in the semifinals. They still beat Pitt. As you take a look at a Johnny Taylor, who had one of the best first halves of the season of any right side in the PVF. But now DeBeer working her way back from that injury. Played as a service sub, Holly, in their most recent game before the All-Star break. Now really makes her debut in the front row for the Indy Ignite. It's sent back against Looper, but take us inside kind of what Anna DeBeer must be feeling right now.
I think she's just trying to play into her rhythm. It's been a long time. Yes, she's been playing in practice, but a live match is so different. Right now, Indy Ignites Lydia Martin, middle blocker in the front row, is doing a really nice job closing that block.
And DeBeer to serve. Good block touch. The athleticism on display for Vegas. Hannah Maddox the dig. And there is Martin once again.
Sydney Hilly moved that block inside, saw the transition set, dropping inside, does a good job stopping Lydia Martin from going out. They just put up a wall.
Three-time All-American at Louisville serves it up. And Hannah with a high swing sends it back to Indy once again as DeBeer looks to go on a run.
Vegas Thrill looking to own the court, both offensively and defensively. You're going to see them attack that C ball and that pipe ball out of the back row when they can.
There's Maddox with a back row attack. Joust was won by Looper. Dashed into the block by Nina Chaich. The reload, Chaich. Oh, trying to set Maddox there. And it was an ill-advised call, as it turns out. Big block once again.
Vegas Thrill is trying to work on that the middle of the court, so they run it out of the back row, but Lydia Martin takes up a ton of space and gets over the net defensively for Indy.
Yeah, they told us that coming in with Ramon Hernandez-Cruz in his first year leading the way for Vegas. They want to try and control that middle. I thought that might have been a little bit of a force, though, as a good slide kill from Oblad.
Berkeley Oblad for Vegas Thrill, really good at that wide set all the way to the pin behind her setter, cutting it back sharp.
Martin Swim got a piece of the net. Good job by Maddox. Trying to turn the point around. Tipped to the middle by Chaich.
Chaich does a really good job getting her feet to the ball and just throwing it down in the middle. Indy up 8-6, and we'll take our first break.
Going quick into our first timeout of this match. And the Ignite getting a quick start after the All-Star break. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on Fox Sports. The Indy Ignite take a 2-point lead going into the first technical timeout in this Pro Volleyball Federation matchup. Both teams playing their first match coming out of the All-Star break. AJ Cannell alongside the former bronze medalist Holly McPeak. And a missed serve coming off the technical timeout puts Oblad behind the line, who is a Henderson, Nevada native. Taking a look there as well at George Pageant, first-year head coach. Better be the first-year head coach. It's an expansion team this year for the Indy Ignite. Oblad sets it up. She's a hometown native for where the Thrill are based. And Teeler with a nice deep ball attack.
The Indy Ignite have so much confidence in Teeler out of the back row. Even though there's a double block, she's able to work inside.
Down the line, Maddox gets a hold of it.
Hannah Maddox crushed that ball down the line. She's got one of the best blockers in the PVF, and Najani Teeler setting that block up on the line, and Cece Crawford in the middle, and she's able to find that little open space, crushing it down the line. That's impressive.
How hard is it to do that? Because I see a lot of attackers prefer cross court. Maddox has the ability just to whip that down the line.
Well, she had inches to clear the block, so it's gutsy. She's brave.
Excellent serve by Nina Chaich out of Tennessee.
Nina Chaich just has an arm that can score. She's dynamic, and she's attacking down the ball, down that line at Charity Looper.
Former Puerto Rican national team head coach Ramon Hernandez Cruz has engineered a turnaround so far this year for the Vegas Thrill, a team that finished tied for last in the Pro Volleyball Federation last season. If they win tonight, they will match last year's win total.
Ramon Hernandez Cruz told us that they've had a whole week to practice. They focused on shoring up their serve and pass game, serving tougher, and they've worked on some defensive strategies they think will serve them well the rest of the season.
Another huge swing from a Vegas pin. Here is DeBeer in transition. Oh, a little bit of a three-car pileup going on, and Vegas takes advantage against DeBeer.
Beautiful read defensively. Elena Scott picked it up, and then just hard for Sydney Hilly to get to that ball.
Scott has been a great passer this year. Part of the reason why she moved into the libero spot as a starter now, ahead of Kylie Murr, who was on the All-Star match. Saved. But Vegas is ahead. Childress. Good job playing front row defense by Teeler, but DeBeer into the wall once again. Van Buskirk and Cameron Hanna were right there.
I was really impressed in that last rally. Vegas Thrill did a nice job identifying the seams and bodying up, putting a defender in the seam. Look at Alicia Glass-Childress keep that alive. They did that a couple times, ending the rally with a big block.
Good to see. DeBeer had been blocked 4 times, stuff blocks in her first 5 swings. Good to see her get something to go.
George Pageant is going to let her stay out there, find her rhythm. He knows what kind of a player she is, and it's been a long time. So finding your rhythm, finding ways to score around a very big block in front of her.
Yeah, that maybe is the biggest strength for the Vegas Thrill this season has been the blocking. That's in off the joust situation, so another Thrill point. The Ignite come back, and Martin has really transformed what they're doing up front since she subbed in halfway through the first part of the season. Agreed.
We saw a really nice defensive touch by Berkeley Oblad on Lydia Martin. Lydia Martin returns the favor with the block stuff.
The Ignite are one of the smaller teams in the PVF, but Martin has added some size since entering the lineup. There's a good job playing the angle by Hannah.
Alicia Glass-Childress has so much confidence in Cameron Hanna on that right side for the Vegas Thrill. She knows she can check it up there. It's got to be wide and high enough, and Cameron Hanna just has really incredible range, sharp angle from the right side.
That was a world-class set from Childress. Still one of the best to do it, the former starting Team USA setter. Sprayed wide by Maddox.
Hannah Maddox trying to be perfect, finding that deep corner, because Elena Scott takes up a lot of real estate in that left back position. So many players have so much respect for her as a defender.
The Ignite are pretty tough to handle defensively because whichever libero they're deciding not to start, they're using as a DS. So Kylie Murr in that role tonight. Textbook pickup by Scott. Back to the D, and Taylor is blocked.
Charity Looper for the Vegas Thrill team had her hands over the net quick. You have to do that against a Johnny Taylor who can beat you with speed. Watch hands over the net quick, that's the key.
Little tight on the pass, good job to handle it by that setter-hitter connection of Hilly and Martin. Vegas an opportunity on the slide. Oblad, pancake by Scott, diving save Taylor. It's played by Hannah. Here is Hannah Maddox, covers her own hit. On the pipe in transition, Scott is right there. Shaich down to the floor.
What a point for the Indy Ignite team, and it starts with fantastic defense. You think the ball's down, but no, Elena Scott is magic in the backcourt, keeps it alive, and allows her team to score.
Cameron Hanna is going to watch that back on film and realize that maybe it was going out, but what a point. That is why you got to come out and watch some Pro Volleyball Federation action in the second year of this league. Looper, no.
Vegas still really trying to work that back row right down the pipe, middle of the court. They've made some hitting errors, and that's why they trail in this first set, down 14 to Indy 16 in the first set.
Indy Ignite up by 2, coming out of a timeout in the first set with Ramon Hernandez-Cruz, head coach of the Vegas Thrill, looking on. And the Thrill were in first place pretty recently for the first time in team history, lost their last couple of matches. Indy as well got off to a great start. They were in front in the league. They had won the first 3 matches they had played in their franchise's history before going 3-5 in the last 8.
The margin of error in a match, I mean, these teams, that can flip. I mean, it's a long season ahead. So much parity this year.
It really is. That was a talking point heading into the season. I think all the coaches were saying that, and they were all proven right. I mean, think about Columbus. Started out the season 0-7. Since then, they're 4-1. and they're right back in the mix. Of course, the top 4 teams will make the postseason and compete for the $1 million prize at the end of the year.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And all those teams who struggled at the beginning really ramping up and playing better volleyball now.
You think about how that is a lot to play for, $1 million.
One match, $1 million.
Yeah.
I would love a shot at that.
I mean, they do have to divide it up, but there aren't that many players out there. That's a hefty payday for everyone involved. Big swing going toward the middle, and zone 6 for Hannah Maddox.
Hannah Maddox elevates for the Vegas Thrill team, and she's really good at attacking the seam. It wasn't a big hole in the block, but she's able to go high through it.
And it's an ace for the Vegas Thrill, something we heard coming in. They want to focus in on serving tougher, and that's what Oblad did.
Berkeley Oblad is aiming at the seam between Chait and DeBeer. First match passing next to each other. Communication is crucial.
Another bad pass. DeBeer swings from behind the attack line, and the result isn't any better.
Vegas Thrill have big middle blockers defensively. They take up a lot of room, and if they don't have to move, Lane Van Buskirk puts up a wall. Actually, Alicia Glass-Childress got all of that. Good read by her defensively.
And that one clips the tape end down, and Vegas has scored 5 straight points coming out of the timeout, forcing an Ignite timeout.
Good timeout for the Indy Ignite. You want to stop that momentum. Volleyball is such a game of momentum. You do not want Vegas rolling into the 20s.
So this is the second ever matchup between these two teams. They met up in Vegas on January 31st. It was one of the 3 different reverse sweeps that the Vegas Thrill have pulled. And one of the things that, and we're kind of seeing it within this set, George Pageant was discussing with us this morning at Serve and Pass, was how sometimes frustrating it is to go up against the Vegas Thrill because they're so hot and cold. They can just flip the switch just like that. Even
when the Vegas Thrill don't pass great, they've got such dynamic pin hitters that they can swing out of trouble. And Ramon Hernandez-Cruz told us that today. He's like, look, we can swing out of trouble, but ideally we want to pass better, run our middles more, and really own the middle of the court. That's been their goal the last week of practice.
And you talk to almost any coach, one of the first things, if not the first thing they're going to say is, we have to serve and pass. We have to pass well. The first contact has to be good. Vegas has been winning this year really without a lot of that. They've been one of the worst passing teams in the league, and similar to what you just said, I mean, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz, he has lauded his team's resiliency and their grit, but he knows they can't live that way forever. They have to improve the passing. Crawford spikes it down hard, right to the floor for CeCe Crawford.
Passing is such a crucial part of this game. Watch this pass from Chaich, deep in the corner, gets her platform there, puts it in her setter's hands, and then CeCe Crawford, cross-body kill, beautiful for Indy Ignite.
There's that C attack for Hannah, and then Hannah Maddox thought maybe there was some contact, but that's not the call they got.
Hannah Maddox just didn't get her whole hand on that ball to drive it down. Too much finger, and it flew long.
Now 2 straight for the Ignite. Sheer power from Hannah Maddox.
You can hear George Pageant on the bench for the Indy Ignite talking about sealing that block, and Maddox still able to find a little hole to work through.
Maddox entered this match tied for 8th in the league in kills. Crawford once again, similar spot.
CeCe Crawford is one of my favorite players to watch. She's so smart. Her volleyball IQ is amazing. She makes plays that win games, but one-on-one, that's going to put your hitter in advantage all day long.
Hitting .347 coming in, the rookie out of Wisconsin, who also played a couple of years at Kansas. 6th in the PVF in hitting percentage as just a rookie, as Cameron Hanna has an attack from the left side where she was so prominent for national champion Penn State, playing right side to start her rookie season for the Thrill.
Cameron Hanna can score from anywhere. She's long and dynamic and a dangerous attacker for Vegas.
Sydney Hilly, one of the best setters that are going right now with a nice back set to Teeler.
Sydney Hilly has lots of offensive weapons, and Ajani Teeler, one of her favorites on the right side. Another good pass, and then a push to the right side allows Teeler to go high, flat to that corner, off the block.
Teeler won a national title for Kentucky. And the very next season, Hilly won a national championship with Wisconsin. There are former NCAA champions all up and down this court right now as the Ignite come up with an ace from Crawford. Allison Mayfield has come in to help pass for Vegas. Looper cross court.
Charity Looper pops off the floor for Vegas. And Mayfield that time taking care of the pass, allowing them to run that fastball out to the pin. Charity Looper is one of the most dynamic players in the country. Watch her fly. She's 5'9". I think she's more like 5'8". Touches 10'8". I mean, that's incredible.
Loberg as a service sub. Grace Loberg, another former Wisconsin national champion. Gonna take a swing. It was a good swing, taking the setter out. But Scott's a great second ball setter, and Teeler is down.
I like this strategy. When you don't have a great swing, try and take the setter out of it. But the Indy Ignite gets a really nice platform set from Elena Scott, and Teeler cuts it sharp inside the block.
Teeler's had 14 kills or more in each of their last 5 matches and now contributes behind the service line.
Ajani Teeler was a practice player last year, made the roster halfway through the season, but she went to work in the offseason, proved her point, and has really become an important part of this Indy Ignite team, showing she can score from the service line as well.
She's been working hard because she's also an assistant coach for Vanderbilt, which is starting its volleyball program. Will play its first season in the upcoming fall NCAA calendar year as Vegas calls a timeout down by 1.
Ajani Teeler was a broadcast journalism major. We might see her broadcast in some matches this upcoming college season, but she loves the game, is committed, and she's a fantastic teammate. All the players I talked to love playing with Ajani Teeler.
It was a 3rd-round pick last year for Orlando. You talked about her journey last year and the way that really pro volleyball works all across the world. Everyone's kind of a free agent every offseason. That goes with the territory. And so you had some players like Teeler who maybe wasn't the perfect fit somewhere else last year. The league kind of reshuffles this season. We've seen Indy really has 2 great stories like that. Both Teeler and Lecator member Mena, who is still out with an ankle injury for the 3rd straight match. She went from a player that was a mid-level contributor last year for Atlanta and now an MVP type of player for Indy.
Lecator member Mena was impressive last year, but she's been even better this year. Really confident, and she's great on both sides of the ball. When she's in the back row, she's a huge factor. She can hit out of the back row, strong defensively, but it's what she does in the front row, how she scores, and she's got a bomb of a serve as well.
Here's Looper, key side out for the Vegas Thrill, and now we're essentially at deuce going forward.
This is what we essentially call the red zone, where it's crucial that you execute your game, starting with a good pass. Right now, Indy Ignite have their setter front row. Ajani Teeler's out of the back row. Look for her on the right side. Anna DeBeer and Lydia Martin, her 2 front row options.
The Thrill used their bench so liberally. We're already seeing it in the first set. Now Lauren Jardine is into play as they double sub it. Graham, the server. And Looper can't quite get there. The ball goes beyond the bench where it's not able to be retrieved legally. And it's a set point.
That time, Anna DeBeer, number 14 in light blue, takes a big swing to score that advantage.
Vegas undoes the double sub. Childress is back into set. And DeBeer will now serve.
Vegas Thrill have a setter front row. Look for Cameron Hanna out of the back row.
Looper. Here's a chance for the Ignite to close it out. Shaich blocked and out. Off the block and out of play. A point for the Ignite. The Indy Ignite win the first set.
Incredible execution at the end of the first set by the Indy Ignite team, and that ball blocked out of the bounds for the Indy Ignite point.
That was down to the wire. Back and forth in the first set. The Ignite take it. Close as it gets in the first set. Indy Ignite take it 25-23 at home. Best 3 out of 5 continues on. First set stats are sponsored by FICO. Pro Volleyball Federation is proud to partner with FICO to champion financial literacy. PVF athletes will engage with the league and its communities to provide financial education.
That's important. I need to start teaching my son some financial education, so.
So you'll go to FICO?
Yes, I will.
And the numbers, Vegas held to under 100 in the first set. The Ignite at 128, and I just thought, see the hitting numbers low, but the blocking was extremely good on both sides. 10 combined stuff blocks in one set.
Most of the first set, both teams were hitting for negative numbers. Just towards the end, they were more effective, just trying to figure out where they can attack each other's defense.
Strong serve by Maddox, handled by Scott, and played nicely by CeCe Crawford. So creative, CeCe Crawford.
I talked about volleyball IQ earlier, but CeCe Crawford, her eye work, her volleyball IQ is just incredible. She recognized the set's a little bit low, can't get full extension on her arm, just a finesse shot.
I'm telling you too, like she plays middle, okay? In another life, there's a net violation there. She'd be a setter. She has like the best pair of hands of any middle I've ever seen.
She does. I've seen her dump set over the net. I've seen her jump set balls in transition. Fun to watch.
Former Pittsburgh star Van Buskirk with the serve. In system for Vegas. Scott's such a good setter. Back set, Cameron Hanna through the seam in the block.
Watching Cameron Hanna attack on the right side, it's like her arm just keeps extending, and then it's a whip when soon as she identifies the seam in the block, her arm just unfolds and then boom, right through the seam.
Does it give her an extra half second to read something when she's doing that? Because she's a little bit longer up there than most players.
It seems like it. It gives her a little bit more altitude, and then the quick arm helps her get through that ball quickly.
I like Lydia Martin so far tonight. She's looked good out there.
Lydia Martin is physical on both sides of the ball. She was a defensive blocker coming out of college, but has really found her way. Cross-body, catches Alicia Glass-Childress, kind of scooting up a little too shallow in the court defensively as right back player.
There's a couple of kills, but has 3 stuff blocks and has taken some assertive swings. Teeler with a monster dig back over onto the Vegas side. Back set to Hanna, down the other line.
Extension, it's like extendo arm by Cameron Hanna. High contact partner, point, driving that ball down the line. And we saw a great dig by Johnny Teeler, who just stays put, good control, pops over the net, and then Hanna terminates on the next swing.
I think it's really interesting because you have 2 really, really talented right sides, and they could not be more different. Like, Teeler is so compact and powerful in that other type of way, whereas Hanna, as you said, her arm just extends out for ages, and she really brings it back.
And both are wonderfully effective. Both all-stars this past week.
Yes, they were. Oblad is really good off of 1 foot.
Berkeley Oblad cut that ball so sharp inside the block. She really likes the ball wide where the block has to chase her. That allows her to cut it back sharp inside.
And she was a key contributor last year as well, so that setter-hitter connection, which is so important with the middle blocker, has been there with Alicia Childress, who is with the Thrill as well. Anna Maddox converts once again for the Thrill, who are off to a nice start in the second set.
Preparing for this match, one of the weirdest stats for me was the last team in the league defensively in terms of digs per set is Vegas. And they've got some of the best defenders on the court. So they've just been working on sealing up their block defense and how they want to play teams so they can be more effective with their defenders in the backcourt.
Yeah, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz commented that they want to take better advantage of all that athleticism that they have.
Well-placed ball right over the middle block.
You're looking for a ball right now. Right now, the delay is just nobody can find a ball, which is necessary.
Yeah, we might need that to serve.
Vegas right there was getting antsy because they're on the run right now. You don't like to get iced like that when you're on an offensive run. Here's a slide from Martin. Covered by Hilly. Maddox out of system. Oh, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz was glowing about what Maddox can do as an out-of-system hitter.
What a play. I mean, if you talk about the defense, look at this ball short away from Alicia Glass-Childress, sticks out an arm, and then Charity Looper. She pushes it outside, but pretty far off the net. Maddox able to stay aggressive in transition, and that's what makes this Vegas Thrill team so dangerous.
5-0 run right now for Vegas. And it is also, it's such a weapon when almost no matter what's going on around you, if you have a player like Maddox who is able to convert. I mean, some teams are more sensitive to having to be in system. Obviously, Vegas, we talked about it. They want to be in system more, but it's important to be able to score when you're not.
I think it's a blessing having players who can hit out-of-system balls and put them away, or put you ahead in the point and put the other team on the defensive.
And Maddox, you talk about some of the bright young stars in this league. She's one that came from kind of an off-the-radar position playing for South Alabama.
I love it. I believe it gives players across the country, no matter what school you play at, the chance to dream and believe. You see a player like Hannah Maddox out of South Alabama living the dream and elevating her game and getting this opportunity to play on the big stage.
Because make no mistake, after the season she had last year, showing the talent that she showed as a rookie, as Martin converts, and then expanding upon that skill set this year, Hannah Maddox has become one of the faces of this league.
Agreed.
Here is Maddox. I like what Taylor has done playing right back defense today, but Oblad is too much for Chaich.
Vegas Thrill so confident in their block. When Indy Ignite is out of system or not in an ideal location in transition, the Vegas Thrill take over with their block. Berkeley Oblad, Glass Childress with the stuff block.
Berkeley Oblad, who was raised in Henderson, Nevada, the home of the Vegas Thrill, has become one of the underrated players around the league at the middle blocker position. It comes up with another big block to send this into the technical timeout at 8-4.
Berkeley Oblad, an all-star in the PVF. Another one of the talented Vegas Thrill players who was here representing.
They had the most all-stars in the league. They had 5. Indy had 4 playing here at home in the Fishers Event Center. And just, it was really, you were here, Holly, calling the match with Paul Sunderland. It was a historic night.
It was an historic moment. In the Indy crowd showed up and supported. The energy was incredible here. It was a really proud moment in my career.
I guess historic day.
Yeah.
Would be the proper way to put it, because it was during the daytime that it was played. But I digress. Looper with the dig. Big block touch, but still too much force from Chaich.
We talked about Vegas Thrill players taking big swings when they're out of system, but last swing for Chaich was not an easy one. This ball sat really tight in transition. She was able to swing out of trouble.
And the answer from Hannah Maddox.
Hannah Maddox working the outside hand of the block. She likes to go cross body, but she's got the range to attack the entire court for the Vegas Thrill.
Crawford on a slide, and Maddox says no.
That's eye work. As a left side blocker, you have to get there and get your hands over the net, knowing the hitter's going to attack this. It's just you, your middle blocker's late. Fantastic left hand.
Maddox.
Little finger wag, I like it.
Yeah, I do too. She's been all over the place, Holly, with 7 kills to lead everyone, 9 digs, and that stuff block as Vegas adds to its second set lead, 12-5.
To start this match, we talked about the special setters in this match, and Alicia Glass-Childress doing a really nice job knowing when to set her middles and when to set her pins.
And that makes it an 11-2 Thrill run. Running away with this second set. timeout, Indy. And the Bolt 622 HD cameras automatically controlling these in and out calls, and it's been one of the great things over the past couple of years, showing what that can do for in terms of it being a televised event, just how much better that makes it to have those instantaneous in-out calls.
Way more efficient, and it's the future of the game. I love being a part of the Bolt 6 because, boom, you know if it's in or out, and there's no lines person who might make a human error.
And also those quick replay reviews, which average around 20 seconds this year because of that Bolt 6 technology. Hannah Maddox leading the way through the first set and a half for the Vegas Thrill. Again, 7 kills, 9 digs, and the stuff block that you just saw.
She scores 4 points per set. That means an ace, a block, or a kill, and she just knows how to get it done, is not afraid to take big swings out of system. Really playing at an elite level this year for the Vegas Thrill team.
It's the 2 Hannahs, 1 first name, 1 last name. Cameron Hannah hitting .417. Hitting efficiency is kills minus errors over total attempts is how the formula is calculated there. Crawford is done by Childress. And Chaich with a right side swing for the former Tennessee star.
Hitter coverage so important at this elite level because you've got such good blockers on the other side of the net. Indy Ignite was able to cover that and attack right back.
That might have been a tough serve to handle if it had gotten over, but just hit the top of the tape for Chaich. And it's always a balance. You know, if you're new to the sport, missed serves, they look frustrating, but they are necessary too, because the coaches need their players to serve tough. Good pass by Murr. Teeler uses the block.
Kylie Murr handled that serve very well for Indy Ignite, and Vegas Thrill had a well-formed block. Teeler just even better with that tool, working the inside hand out of bounds.
One thing that Vegas has been working on a little bit, Coach Hernandez Cruz commenting that it feels like they're getting tooled a little too often, want to bring those numbers down as another Hannah Maddox conversion.
And we're seeing better hitting percentage out of the middle and out of the back row from the Vegas Thrill team in the second set.
And Van Buskirk getting a back set. Scott to Teeler for the connection.
Big push from the left side of the court to the right side of the court for a Johnny Teeler in transition. Really impressive. Lots of confidence from Teeler's offense on that right side, whether it's in the front row or the back row.
You mentioned the hitting percentages. Vegas Thrill in the first set hitting under 100. In this second set hitting .643. And that is going to take us to a timeout on the missed serve. The Thrill doubling up the Indy Ignite. 16-8 is the score in the second set. Vegas well in front in the second set, seems poised to even this match up and send it to potentially at least 4 set situation in the suburbs of Indianapolis here in the Fishers Event Center. Vegas Thrill versus the Indy Ignite, and what a setting matchup this is between Alicia Childress and Sydney Hilly.
These are two of the best, and Alicia Childress has been really impressive. Ramon Hernandez-Cruz told us her defense, she reads the seams of the block so well, steps in, and then Sydney Hilly covers a really wide part of the court, able to keep her team and system from way off the net. Indy Ignite trying to mix things up, new players on the floor.
Yeah, Nisei Havili coming in at center right now with Grace Wade playing right front. Havili played for the Thrill last year, got in sparingly. Grace Wade, the former star at Purdue. Havili played at Kansas. Whooper, smash down.
Block for Indy Ignite, chasing Alicia Childress, recognizing that Indy Ignite defense is not set on that pin, and watch her go to work one-on-one and turns it down the line. Beautiful elevation.
Began her college career wearing the same colors you did, Holly, playing for UCLA, then made it to the national championship game with Louisville. Charity Looper.
Grace Wade on the right side for Indy Ignite. She was a fantastic scorer on the right side for Purdue, and now comes in and little spark for Indy, finding the corner.
Known as Grace Cleveland, got married. It's gonna work for Oblad.
Berkeley Oblad, fast throw down to the middle of the court. Indy Ignite can touch it but can't control it. Still comfortable lead for Vegas in the second set.
Yeah, what has been the biggest change, do you think, from the first to the second set?
Execution. I think they're doing a much better job with first contact and then defensively in better spots.
Because a lot of time, I mentioned their hitting percentage, that's really just more of a domino effect from that first contact.
Certainly, Havili goes quick out to the pin, and that time, Nina Chajic high off the hands of Childress for the kill. Sydney Hilly back in the match for Indy Ignite, as is Ajani Teeler in the front row.
Back to Chajic, swinging high. The players will do that, try and get a block touch, but a point for the Thrill.
It's an aggressive swing by Chajic, but George Padgett knows how talented she is, and he believes in her. He's gonna leave her in there and let her score and work through it.
On the overpass, Hannah is dug by Scott. DeBeer can't get it over.
Vegas putting all sorts of pressure on the Indy Ignite right now.
Alicia Childress won 3 consecutive national titles at Penn State. The team, of course, won 4. She was involved with 3 of them. Can you imagine this? I mean, she won the last 102 matches of her collegiate career.
That's domination.
Wow, pushed all the way across to a middle in Van Buskirk. That was a big gap set right there.
Lane Van Buskirk is long in the middle, and Alicia Childress recognizes that she can use her length in the middle and pushes a high-risk set, but it pays off.
Indy goes for something similar. Tough situation for DeBeer, but she finds the setter. So it's Schroll to Looper. It's a Hannah. Now DeBeer uses the block.
Anna DeBeer so quick off the ground, even coming back from her injury, and hammers through the hands of Cameron Hannah, that right block, who's kind of chasing. She gets out, you see her chase and lean, tries to lean with her hands, and hands not over the net soon enough.
Side out for the thrill against Carly Scott, who came in as a service sub. Nice dig by Lober coming in the serving specialist role. Taylor goes slow. Who's going to take the lead in this point? Maddox has to lean into that one to stay behind the attack line. Now DeBeer with a chance for a real swing. Looper the pickup. Aggressive back set for Hannah. Oh. A lot of commotion on the near sideline, and it's out for a thrill point.
What a rally, both sides of the net. Elena Scott is everywhere, and I don't know if her teammates are used to her being everywhere. She flies in, Taylor's there, and then we've got a little collision, and everyone just trying to stay upright.
Of course, with DeBeer right there, it's like stay away from the ankle. But of course, Taylor just playing so hard along with the rest of this Ignite team.
Little misconnection there. Trying to go to Lydia Martin in the middle for the Indy Ignite team. She had a very good first set, but Indy Ignite has not been able to get anything going in the second set.
Yeah, this has gotten away from them, but we'll start over at 0-0. Soon enough in the third. Van Buskirk's going to come back in, and then she'll just quickly check out for the libero. After Grace Loberg, some service run action. So a 10-point advantage. And soon to be 1-1 in sets. And it'll be Cameron Hanna to close the book on the second set. The former Penn State star does the job for Vegas.
Indy Ignite has a little bit of time to think about it, reset, and hopefully they can return the favor.
So Vegas ends up evening this match at 1 set apiece. 25-23, Indy winning a close first set. For Vegas was strong in the second set, winning 25-14. And the hitting numbers for Vegas, we talked about it, they were below 100 in the first set. Huge turnaround in the second. Let's go to Holly McPeak.
Hannah, your team's known for a slow start. What was the difference in the second set?
I think we talked about having the momentum. Like, we felt like we had the momentum towards the end of the first set, even though we didn't quite capitalize on it. And I think just continuing to ride that wave into the second set, we were making good block touches, making great digs, and then finally capitalizing on it. I think that's really what pushed us through that second set.
We like to talk about your story coming out of South Alabama. What do you have to say to all the players who have that same kind of dream coming from a small school to play at this level?
I would just say, I mean, it's cliche, but truly never stop dreaming. The harder you work, the better things are going to go for you. So I just never gave up and always worked hard, and here I am. So yeah.
Fun to watch you play. Back to you, AJ.
Thanks so much, Holly. Hannah Maddox went 4 for 7 in the second set. Vegas hit 464 in the second set to even this match up at 1 set apiece, but you play best 3 out of 5 here in the PVF. Lots of more volleyball coming your way on FS1. Well, you know, they say sometimes it's a tale of two sets. The first set drastically different from the second set here in Indy, and we're glad to bring you Pro Volleyball Federation action on FS1. AJ Cannell alongside the three-time Olympian Holly McPeak. And it's a simple question, what changed from the first set to the second set?
Everything. I mean, Vegas was able to just shut down Indy's offense. They were struggling to get things going, and the foot was on the gas for Vegas, and Indy could not find an answer.
It changed about as much as the lighting has been changing over the last 30 seconds or so in this building. And let's take a look at some of the numbers through the first two sets of action. And the Thrill out-hitting Indy 236 to 092. And again, a major turnaround in that second set. 9-4 in terms of the stuff blocks as well for Vegas.
Vegas Thrill just turned the tables on the Indy Ignite, and they were able to get a lot of stops. It starts with their block, but their backcourt defense, and then they were very efficient with their transition swings. Everything went right for Vegas. And if you're the Indy Ignite, you're happy that we had a long break right now, so you want to play better in this third set.
Yeah, typically you see this longer break, a 10-minute break in between sets 2 and 3. We're almost through with it, though. Ready to play some more action soon in Indy. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that line. So yeah, come on, I had to acknowledge it. All right,
Good.
all right.
I don't think we thought the lights were going to go out.
It's all good.
Go for an hour and come back. Yeah. We'll get a quick nap. You don't mind if you end up kind of like hold me right here, you know?
Have to film a second.
You know, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I don't think so.
I don't know if I need
Oh, just about set for action in the third set here inside the Fishers Event Center, with Anna DeBeer staying warm, making her first ever professional start after the ankle injury she suffered in the Final Four.
And George Padgett just giving her a little bit of feedback. Hey, he believes in her. He's going to give her a shot, and so she can be patient and work her way back in to form.
That was during the long set break, staying loose on the exercise bike. And DeBeer will start once again this third set at outside hitter. They're going to maximize her time in the front row with her counterpart, Nina Chajic, back to serve. Another big rip from Hannah Maddox, picking up where she left off.
Hannah Maddox that time on the right side, and I like her choice. She's not trying to go straight down. She's just trying to find that open corner. No defender back there.
How about the growth from Maddox, year one to year two? Some of that decision-making, that maturity.
I think playing at this level, you learn a lot. You have to be more physical. You have to find new ways to score, and that's what happened last year.
Chopped by Cameron Hannah, but out of bounds for a point. They're saying it was a block touch, and we haven't had a challenge yet today until now.
Some smiles on the Indy Ignite faces. There might have been a touch. Looked like Cameron Hannah had a little slice on that ball, and sometimes that catches the block by surprise.
There was a touch off the block.
Vegas is challenging the play of a block touch.
So both 6 technology once again responsible for these reviews. And the review went quickly. Point thrill.
Very quickly. There you see Lydia Martin, player out of Oklahoma. She wears a Q collar. That's what's around her neck. That's the most asked question, I think, across the PVF. What is she wearing? And it prevents head injuries and concussions.
It's funny because I added to the list earlier today as Vegas comes up with the big block. I was right there asking her that very question, and you had to say, AJ, do realize that every single broadcaster has asked Lydia that question.
Well, every time I see her on TV, I'm like, what is that? So it's a Q collar, and it helps prevent head injuries. It's silicone, and it presses on your carotid artery, protecting your head.
As she says, she has not gotten another concussion since starting to wear it. She had a bunch of them in her past, so really cool technology that she tries to encourage more players to use it.
Well, I did a deep dive after learning about it. A lot of football players use it as well.
There is Martin, who played Liberty and then Oklahoma, with a nice serve down the line.
Perfect location, Lydia Martin. Fast-paced ball, really flat down the line. Not a lot of court for her to attack, but look at the location. Goes away from the passer, curving left.
Well, steers it in the other direction. And Vegas calling out, and they were right. Cameron Hannah with a point.
Tons of pace on that ball from Cameron Hannah on the right side. Sydney Hilly there to dig it, but so much heat she can't control it on her side of the net, and it carries long.
Ace serve for the thrill.
Vegas Thrill targeting Nina Chajic in serve receive. Elena Scott and Anna DeBeer known for their superb passing skills. And right now, Nina Chajic in the middle of the court.
Second ace of the season for Van Buskirk, who left a little bit early last year. She was the starter most of the season, left to play in the VNL tournament at the end of the year.
For Canada.
For Team Canada, yes, she's from Windsor, Ontario. Hilly to Crawford, picking out her spot again.
When we talk about volleyball IQ, this is what makes CeCe Crawford special. In transition, pretty easy dig. CeCe Crawford drives, recognizes 2 blockers up and inside, opening up that short ball.
4 kills, 9 swings for Crawford. Right back at you. Crawford standing tall.
That feels good, Anna DeBeer. Getting up on her first block. She was one of the best blockers on the left pin this collegiate season. She gets out there, great eye work, and reaches back, taking that seam away from Cameron Hanna.
The Ignite bringing a physical presence at the net to start this third set. Cooper hits around it. Here is DeBeer with the attack in transition. Now Cameron Hanna tips. DeBeer gets down from the block and plays it. Elena Scott has had some highlight plays tonight. Chokers can't get there.
Good things happen when you keep the ball off the floor, and I don't think anybody's better at that than Elena Scott. She is everywhere. When she digs the ball, she controls it. This time, one arm stab to get it up to her teammates, allowing them to score.
4-0 run for the Ignite. Faster tempo set to DeBeer, and it's in.
Anna DeBeer finding her rhythm. Starts with a dig from Ajani Teeler, puts it in Sydney Hilly's hands. Fastball out to the pin, crossbody with pace down the line. DeBeer lighting things up.
Indy is in the category for sure of a smaller, quicker team. They want to run that offense lightning fast, and DeBeer is right there again.
Two beautiful swings down the line from Anna DeBeer. Vegas Thrill talking about it. Maybe they make a defensive adjustment, trying to take that line away from Anna DeBeer. Back-to-back kills there.
We'll have a timeout to think about it. The Ignite up 8-5 in the third, 6-0 run. That was a technical timeout there, a pre-planned timeout at 8 points and 16 points. You get those timeouts. It was a timely technical timeout for the Vegas Thrill, down 8-5. They were happy to have that and try and regroup defensively against DeBeer, who I think is starting to find her rhythm coming back from injury.
And I knew George Padgett, the head coach for the Indy Ignite team, would allow her, give her that space and time to work through her first match back.
Right. Block there, though. Cameron Hanna, big time block for the Thrill.
And that's a defensive adjustment from Cameron Hanna. She got beat down the line. This time she takes all ball, gets her hands there, and left hand takes away the seam from DeBeer.
That was smart by Teeler. Dig to attack out of the back row for Nina Chaich.
So nice to have those weapons in transition all over the court. Chaich out of the middle, back row, catches Cameron Hanna by surprise. All her options available. Right side to Teeler in the back row. That time she goes to Chaich down the pipe.
Well, because she just had the dig. What a choice by Hilly there, thinking correctly that Vegas wouldn't expect it. Monster swing from Hanna.
Cameron Hanna getting things going. Really beautiful attack down the line, and I talked about the length and the speed of her arm and how and why it's so tough to stop. Watch it just unfold and then accelerate.
Oblad is wash, rinse, repeat on that slide.
Alicia Childress has a ton of confidence in Berkeley Oblad and wants to push it out there quick so she can work through the block, and Berkeley Oblad is able to do this in transition because of the pace of that set. You see block chasing, big seam between the two Indy blockers.
Vegas wins the point. Despite the poor pass, Maddox had to lean back, and Indy thought that was going out.
Well, you can't relax when Hannah Maddox, even though she's out of system way off the net, she put some pace on that ball, and defense caught by surprise.
Chaich turns it down the line on a nice set from Hilly.
We've seen Indy Ignite have success turning it down the line. That right back defender needs to stand her ground, be ready to dig, and it's tough to dig when Chaich is hammering that ball at you, but you got to do it.
I mean, as somebody that's had to do that, Holly, big block right there. How difficult is it to dig right back against a big arm like that?
I always say, put your helmet on and be ready. Look at Chaich there, pressing that ball, right hand, closing the seam of the block. Well done defensively.
A couple of good moments for Chaich in this set. Hannah Maddox with a 4-4 swing.
Hannah Maddox just is showing us she's got all the tools, that time elevating, and like you said, 4-4, which is angle to sharp angle.
And Maddox has eclipsed double figures in both kills and blocks. A double-double for Hannah Maddox as the former middle, Johnny Teeler, contributes with a middle swing.
I felt like earlier in the season, this Indy Ignite team was running more combinations, but there we got to see basically a two-set, kind of an X-play, and Teeler hitting out of the middle with success.
Why are they maybe running fewer now?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if defensively they were getting dug, or if they were just trying to go away from it and spread things more.
Now, something that the Ignite do that not a lot of teams will in this league is use a pure defensive specialist spot. Kylie Murr, who has started much of the year at libero, coming in to play DS. And take a rotation in the back row, passing.
You look at the backcourt right now, Kylie Murr, Elena Scott, and Anna DeBeer. Those are three superb passers. So Indy Ignite expects to be in system, and I like that move by George Padgett, the head coach.
So much chemistry there with, of course, Scott and DeBeer playing together at Louisville. And Murr and Scott training together at the same position this year. Pancake Hilly. Here's Looper. Oh, Martin coming from a heavy angle over the top, off the block, and Teeler finally puts it away.
Both teams elevating their game. Charity Looper came in from the left side to help on the middle block, slow down Lydia Martin. You see that good touch, excuse me. And then Lane Buskirk a little bit late, and there's a seam that Ajani Teeler is able to attack for Indy.
Looper with the answer, side out for Vegas, back within a point.
We've got some of the best pin hitters in the league out here tonight, and Charity Looper is so quick on the ball. Again, we talk about all the weapons. She's got them on the left side, number 2 in white.
DeBeer does well with the swing, but a pancake from Childress. Johnny Teeler had 10 kills in the All-Star match a few days ago in this building.
That was a ball that should have come up for Vegas. Lane Van Buskirk was the left back defender. We're trying to get fancy and pancake it. She's got to play that ball up after the good block deflection.
Taylor has had a great all-around game playing right side. She's up in double-figure kills with 11 digs, so Taylor has a double-double for the Ignite. Oh, right rifled down the line by Cameron Hanna. Look out, Elena Scott.
Elena Scott bodied that dig, got it up, but wow, the velocity on that ball. I don't want to play left back defense when Cameron Hanna's on that right side.
We were just talking about the perils of right back defense.
Left back has the same issues.
No one's safe. Roofed by Oblad against Teeler.
Berkeley Oblad recognizes the ball, and the hitter coming out of the back row doesn't have to move much. Just make sure her hands are over the net for the stuff.
In system, Hilly to Crawford, electric player for the Ignite.
One of the things that Anna DeBeer brings to this Indy Ignite team is the perfect first contact. Sets up that play to CC Crawford. And now Indy up by 1, 16-15 in this third set.
Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on Fox Sports. Here in Indy, the home Ignite and the road thrill. First ever meeting between these two teams in this building are in a tight one. Vegas won in reverse sweep fashion, losing the first 2 sets, taking the final 3 when these teams met for the first ever time anywhere in Vegas on January 31st. The first rematch. Every team plays each other 4 times across the Pro Volleyball Federation in its 2nd year. Sydney Hilly, who is the PVF Championship MVP last season for Omaha, with the setup there for the Ignite to put Indy up by 2.
Elena Scott takes up so much of the court defensively. She comes all the way to the middle of the court to run that ball down. And then Hilly fast out to Chaich on the left pin.
That's out on the DeBeer serve. Cameron Hanna has hit .409 in this match, 11 for 22 with a couple of errors for Vegas. Elena Scott up to 14 digs for Indy. And Chaich starting to come alive in his third set.
And now we see another combination play, a gap set and a 2 set to Chaich. The block moves inside, and that allows her to go short. You see Cece go for the gap. She comes in for the middle 2, and the right back defender a little too deep to stop that ball.
What do you mean by middle 2?
Well, it's a 2 height, and it's in the middle of the court.
So 2 is a height in that situation.
Correct. Well, 1 set is probably about 1 foot, maybe higher for these girls. 2 is a little bit higher tempo, slower tempo.
We know what you're saying. Timeout called by the Thrill. 19-16, the Ignite gaining some ground, trying to pull away in the third set.
I'm loving the gamesmanship on both sides. We saw Vegas absolutely dominate the second set, but this third set, Indy is playing their best ball.
You know, that first matchup that I referenced between these two teams in Vegas on the 31st of January was really fun. It's something about these two, I think, when they converge, they have some interesting styles that contrast.
All-out defense, and then some high flyers who can really score on the outside. And 2 superb setters who can run the offense, make good decisions. So it's a really fun, high-level volleyball. So looking at some of the top performers through the first
2.5 sets, 2 3/4 sets. Alicia Childress into double-double territory, 33 assists and 14 digs. Maddox and Teeler also have double-doubles as pins, and Sydney Hilly with a 30-assist day for Indy. And to reset where we started, Paulie, you have the 2 starting setters from the PVF All-Star match, which of course also took place here less than a week ago.
Well, all 4 of those players who are having big performances tonight were competing in the All-Star game with good reason.
That's right. And Oblad with the kill.
Berkeley Oblad, primarily a setter, a hitter who likes to hit behind the setter on that right side, but she's very effective, even though you know that's the set she's going to attack.
That's another big swing from Teeler.
Indy Ignite are so good at running Ajani Teeler out of the back row, and credit Sydney Hilly. She's got the tempo, the location, perfect for Ajani Teeler to attack down the line at Berkeley Oblad.
Good pass there by Maddox, but the connection wasn't quite there between Childress and Looper, and Indy's up by 4.
Looked like the Vegas Thrill had a little communication breakdown. I'm not sure if Charity Looper knew that that set was going there.
Maddox hits hard down the line, but missed it. She has some words of protest, and Vegas is going to challenge.
Look out below. She crushed that ball. Big bounce. It was definitely, well, I saw it out of bounds. Had a lot of heat and pace on it.
Well, of course, in-out, not going to be what is challenged. That is not challengeable.
Vegas Thrill were pointing at the net like it was possible the Indy Ignite players trying to block that ball might have hit the net. That's where the challenge may lie.
Each team gets 2 challenges per set, and if you win a challenge, you keep it. Especially once you get late in a set, there's a very low risk level to taking a challenge, because you know at worst you're going to get 2 back again in the next set.
And for the Vegas team right now, they're down. If they can win this point and get some momentum going, it's a good time to challenge.
Be a 2-point swing, take one off the board for Indy, give one to Vegas if they win it. At the very least, they can slow that momentum down, though, with the challenge. This one's taking a little longer to figure out. Maybe a close call there. We'll get the replay once they've made their decision, both 6 on these replay reviews, which on average go so much quicker than you might be accustomed to seeing if you're watching a challenge in the NCAA.
We have 1 up referee, and our 2nd down referee is sitting at the table, watching the monitor, watching the replays. He's on the headset with the up referee. Out of bounds, no net. Indy Ignite wins the challenge, or Vegas Thrill lose it.
After review, the point to your Ignite.
And so here's the replay. Challenging for a net touch. No net touch there. Lydia Martin found the corner.
Little bit of hang time, not the perfect location for her, but she's able to hit it deep to that corner. Smart choice.
And the Thrill used their final timeout of the set, down by 6. And that is well into the corner.
That's the coffin corner.
It sure was for Vegas there. 6-1 run for Indy going into this Thrill timeout. Ramon Hernandez-Cruz having some specific words for Hannah Maddox. Any guesses?
Well, it looked like he was motioning to Hannah Maddox how she should be attacking the block. But she's had a lot of success tonight.
You're thinking, don't mess with it too much. But yeah, Maddox hitting 276, 12 kills, 12 digs. Cameron Hanna, 11 kills, 409 for the Thrill, who are trailing in this set to the Ignite. CeCe Crawford, a 5 for 10 day. for the Ignite. Ajani Teeler, 12 kills, 11 digs. And mentioned Sydney Hilly, 32 assists.
And Indy.
Childress has a double-double as well.
And Indy on a 6-1 scoring run. At the end of a set, that's something that's going to get you victories. You want to finish strong in the set.
Lydia Martin up to 5 kills, 3 stuff blocks. And it's a set point coming up for the Ignite on a Sydney Hilly ace.
Sydney Hilly is an elite server, good pace, and she's really good at location with that serve.
5th ace for the Ignite. Vegas has 3. Troll sets Maddox. DeBeer with the pickup. Tight to the net there. And Vegas is able to block Teeler.
Little bit inside for Teeler in transition in the block of Vegas Thrill. Able to keep them alive in this set.
Anna Maddox gets credit. Oh, Martin coming to play tonight.
First contact crucial for Indy Ignite, and when they pass well, they can get their middles involved. Watch Indy Ignite run the middle to Lydia Martin. Big banger out of the middle. That's a tough ball to stop.
Now the numbers through the first 3 sets. Indy taking the odd sets so far after Vegas won set 2, and so it's a 2-1 lead, best 3 out of 5. And Vegas still has the edge in hitting efficiency because it was such a blowout there in the second set, but the Ignite are able to control sets 1 and 3.
Indy Ignite, really nice response in that third set after being dominated in the second, and the block advantage for Vegas Thrill has been really big, especially in that second set. They were able to get lots of stops. Right now, Vegas Thrill going with some new bodies on the court to start this 4th set.
Makes the Thrill very difficult, the depth they have to offer. 13-6 blocking advantage for the Thrill. Now the one number you don't always see on the screen and didn't see there that we can keep track of is the passing. And in that third set, Indy was over 80% in system.
I think having Anna DeBeer in that backcourt with Elena Scott and then using Kylie Murd, that's a really nice backcourt.
Ajani Taylor opens up the fourth set for the Ignite. Vegas has Grace Loberg in there trying to block on that play. You talked about substitutes maybe coming in for the thrill.
Grace Loberg adds size, experience, length on that left pin for the Vegas Thrill team.
So it appears she has come in for Charity Looper as Anna Maddox remains in. Here's DeBeer getting more comfortable. First start back from injury. Good coverage. Troll was up there. Childress, one of the best to do it defensively from the setting position. Loberg just has to push that over. Indy was calling for a double. Doesn't matter, DeBeer.
So many big plays tonight, and Anna DeBeer getting better as this match goes on. Watch this ball. Cece Crawford with the jump back set, and then Anna DeBeer down that line again. She's had 3 or 4 kills down that line.
Maddox tries to cut that one, can't keep it in play. It's going to be important right now for Vegas to stop this bleeding quickly.
And it starts with a good pass. Indy Ignite have been going after Grace Loberg in serve receive.
They do again, that's a better pass. And Cameron Hanna capitalizes.
Alicia Childress, really nice ball. She and Cameron Hanna have a nice connection, nice trust. Puts the ball in a perfect spot for Cameron Hanna to unleash that powerful arm.
It's like they played together at Penn State, even though they were over a decade apart. So many Penn State connections on the Vegas team as Taylor comes up with a kill. Their head coach, Ramon Hernandez-Cruz, won a men's national title for Penn State. And of course, Russ Rose is actually a consultant for the Thrill.
Ajani Taylor, look at her see that seam. I love the way she sees the court and gets on it fast.
Not a bad luxury to have the all-time wins leader as a consultant on your team.
No, we saw Russ Rose, I believe 3 weeks ago in Orlando, and he was fun to chat volleyball with. He's got such a unique perspective and obviously a brilliant volleyball mind.
But Vegas is in a hole right now. Ajani Taylor is feeling it for the Indy Ignite 5-1 lead as they look to put away the Thrill in the fourth set. Timeout taken.
You and I talked earlier today about the home court advantage being a big deal, and right now, Indy using that tonight.
Home teams are a few percentage points better this year by winning percentage than they were last year in the PVF. And Ajani Taylor has been leading the way thus far tonight for the Indy Ignite. A highly efficient double-double performance for Taylor.
Amazing, and she's one of those players that's so fun to watch because the way she attacks the ball, gets on it. We see some slices. We see her find that little opening down the line. We see her attack the seam, and it's the pace of her offense. She was mostly a middle blocker, a little bit of right side when she played at Kentucky, but she's really blossoming at this pro level, and it's fun to see players get better after college.
She started as a pin, but then very early on switched to middle blocker and played that for the rest of her career for Kentucky. And now with that last kill reaching 15, and she's been up over 14 for 6 straight matches. The overtake, oh, great play by Hilly. Sydney Hilly keeping Indy in the point, and then they shut the door.
That is one of the hardest plays to make as a setter on an overpass. It looks like an easy kill for Cameron Hanna, but Sydney Hilly flies in there, presses that ball, and sets up her team to score with a second block.
Yeah, she got back to have blocked the second time. Crawford with another exclamation point. All Ignite right now.
And those are types of plays that get your team so fired up. Stealing a for sure point, taking it away, and keeping your team alive in the point.
I wasn't sure if it was her on the second block. I can't believe she got all the way back for the second block. Unbelievable on that point from Hilly. And Hannah finally puts an end to it for Vegas.
Elena Scott there, waiting down the line, and still hard to stop Cameron Hannah when she unleashes that arm with power down the line.
You get down so big early like this, how do you claw your way back?
1 point at a time. Volleyball's a game of momentum, so 1 point, chip away, and try and create some momentum with some big plays like Sydney Hilly. We saw her there. I know they're up, but those kind of plays help your team gain momentum.
The timeout on the floor, 8-2 Indy, trying to put Vegas away in the fourth. Whoa. We've had a few moments tonight that have been special, but Sydney Hilly all over the place for the Ignite.
Watch this ball dug too tight to the net. Sydney Hilly is there to try and run it down, but has to block it, makes a fantastic move, and then gets out, sets up the block again, and she and Cece Crawford finish the point with a huge Indy Ignite block.
And then a big celebration after the fact. Willow Johnson coming in for the thrill. Allison Mayfield checking in as well. So keep an eye on those substitutes. Oblad, a slide connection for the thrill. I mentioned a couple other plays too earlier in the night where Elena Scott had some insane digs. So you might have to, I don't know which one's going to be play of the match.
Lots of highlights.
Those and the Hilly. 2 blocks in the same point, different parts of the net. That was pretty impressive. Mayfield, the server. And right there, Chaich uses the Childress block for the point.
Sydney Hilly elevated on that tight pass, and it held the middle blocker, Berkeley Oblad, in the middle, isolating Chaich on the left pin.
There's Crawford, the setter. First time we've seen that tonight. Chaich found the floor.
Transition offense is so important. If you can turn digs into kills, and that's something that Sydney Hilly with the bump set towards the net. Chaich gets her feet there, chopping it inside the block.
Troll has to take the second. Everything clicking right now for the Ignite. Hilly runs into that set. Chaich with the swing. Martin covered it. Oblad covers. Maddox rolls it. Smart shot to end a long rally.
Hannah Maddox is usually all gas, no brakes, but this time she really disguises the roll shot. Look at her, perfectly executed, comes on top of the ball, and that's why the ball gets to the ground so quickly. She comes right over the top.
So again, here with you live from the Fishers Event Center. It's this Pro Volleyball Federation action. In year 2 of the league, just days after the historic PVF All-Star game. so many of the same players you've been seeing, if you're a volleyball fan, the last few years on national television and NCAA volleyball, and even beyond that, on display here at the Pro Volleyball Federation and in this matchup between Indy and Vegas. We have several players who were in the national championship game just a couple hours away in Louisville. As Chaich sends it down, several players who were in this match tonight. Cameron Hanna, national champion on the Vegas side for Penn State. On the Indy Ignite side, you got Elena Scott and Anna DeBeer. Charity Looper from Louisville, also on the Vegas Thrills side. Chaich connecting on the swing there. Willow Johnson with the kill for Vegas.
Willow Johnson out of the University of Oregon, longtime pro, lots of experience, and she's got a wicked left arm, really nice insertion. There's substitution for Vegas Thrill, putting her in for a bigger block and some new offense.
And there's a roof with Johnson involved.
Willow Johnson is 6'3", and Lane Van Buskirk, they are a huge block on the Vegas side of the net. Nowhere to go.
High quality set from Sydney Hilly, and setting up a Johnny Teeler, continues to tack on the kills.
What makes a Johnny Teeler tough to stop is her speed. She gets on the ball quick. They run a really fast ball to her. The pace with which they run that offense, and she can chop it, she can go down the line, attack the seam, really fast on the ball.
Again, different ways to do it, right? Very different from Cameron Hanna, who has that extra half-second delay with the big arm swing. Plays right side for Vegas as DeBeer's into the net there, point thrill.
Willow Johnson tipped the ball, and Elena Scott kept it alive, but Vegas Thrill able to come up with a block to end the point.
Hey, don't look now, Vegas is still in this set, 4-point differential.
It's early in the set, plenty of time for Vegas Thrill to make a comeback.
Remember, they reverse swept Indy in Vegas on January 31st. Vegas reading the tip. Free ball, though. Oh, Teeler set up perfectly.
Beautiful defense, and then the transition offense continues to roll for the Indy Ignite. This is an easy ball, and then the seam. Too much for a Johnny Teeler to attack.
Well, George Padgett warned us that when Vegas gets into that, he called it go for it mode, when they stop almost caring. Once they get down in some of these matches, it's been responsible for some of these thrill comebacks this year.
And they've got so much depth on the bench. Willow Johnson can come in and have an immediate impact for Vegas.
That is off of Johnson, off the antenna for an Ignite point. But this is something that the Thrill are very comfortable with. They've been down numerous times this year, put new players in, turned it around.
It's a good confidence. You can play with your backs against the wall. You don't always want to be in that position, but nice to be comfortable enough to go for it.
This is going to be one of their tougher ones if they could somehow make it happen, because they've had matches where they've turned it around, but it's been more on a macro basis where they've come back, won the final 3 sets in a reverse sweep. They were down huge early in this set with their backs against the wall, trying to come back within the set as well. And that's not going to help. Mayfield blocked.
Anna DeBeer is doing such a nice job in serve receive for Indy Ignite. Sydney Hilly tried to throw it down. Vegas Thrill was there, but again, another defensive stop by Sydney Hilly as a right side blocker. She's doing a really nice job defensively with her hands.
The rookie DeBeer with the serve. Sneaks over the net off the block. Oblad to the court to get Vegas back within 4.
Oblad likes to swing late cross body, sharp in that angle, and was able to work that one inside the block. Vegas needs some stops defensively to get it closer.
Gotta try and score on the serve a little bit here. It's in. Crawford.
Notice the first contact on Indy Ignite side right now. They are elite in their passing, in their first contact, putting it in their setter's hands every time. And CeCe Crawford knows where to put it deep in the court. Indy up 16-11 in this fourth set.
Well, earlier tonight, this was in Omaha, first place against second place. The Orlando Valkyries visiting the Omaha Supernovas in Brook Nunaviller. And this was a 3-set sweep win for the Road Valkyries.
Orlando Valkyries have been getting better and better, and Natalie Foster has really come on strong, the rookie out of SMU in Orlando, one of the hottest teams in the PVF.
Brittany Abercrombie hitting over 500 with a double-double.
22 kills.
That's impressive. Out of position there defensively. It's still in, though. Johnson was able to get down there. Put off the block touch, it leaks through, and Shaich has the kill.
Love the effort defensively. Keep the ball off the ground, get it over the net, live to play another play, and Indy Ignite was just ahead the entire time on that play. Little hesitation in the backcourt for the Vegas Thrill team between Willow Johnson and Allison Mayfield. They were both there, but couldn't come up with it.
Last time out for Vegas. I guess a few of those shortcomings that the Thrill were able to work around earlier in the season, coming back to bite them a little bit. They're on the verge of a 3-match losing streak. Yeah,
and we saw the Vegas Thrill team dominate the second set. They looked like they were going to win this match, but now things have changed. Indy Ignite has been in system almost every pass in their side-out game.
Yeah, I think that's something that Vegas is going to have to figure out. You see, like, what's the difference between these two teams? Not much, because they have so much high-flying talent on both sides. Indy just better on the first touch.
When you can control that first touch, you can run a much more efficient offense because you can go quicker, you can run your middles, and it really stresses the defense on the other side of the net.
So if you're the Thrill, I mean, Ramon was telling us, like, they're trying to find the right combination. Part of it is, you know, as crazy as it is this point in the season, as much success as they've had, they're still kind of tinkering with the lineup a little bit, but assuming that we kind of know who Vegas is going to go with for the most part now, it seems like they want to start with Looper and Maddox at the pins in most of these matches. Hannah on the other side, Oblad and either Stout or Van Buskirk in the middle. How do you improve on first contact and work with the group that you have?
Continue every time you get a chance in practice to focus on it, but then you also have to think about, they've got some players who played in the national final, so they've never really had much of a rest coming into the season. At some point, they're going to be a little bit tired, and they're going to have to use the depth on their bench.
I think it's important that they have used their depth so much for that reason, but Shaich, she has gotten better as this match has gone along for the Indy Ignite. And Shaich, I thought, had a little bit of a slow start. She now has 16 kills, hitting over 300. Teeler answers Maddox. Oblad an opportunity, too much for Scott to handle.
Mary Schroll, number 10, the libero for Vegas Thrill, doing a really nice job on the last two first contacts, putting it in Alicia Childress' hands. Let her run the offense, but she's got to be in a good location to be the most efficient setter on the court.
Short serve by Oblad. It works.
Dribbler caught Indy Ignite by surprise.
Another strong serve. Bad touch off the free ball, but a block touch earned. Chaich. Yes, it's there for Nina Chaich, 17th kill.
Sydney Hilly had a really nice defensive block touch in the middle of that rally. And then watch Chaich, boom, off Hannah Maddox, who's that left front defender for Vegas.
Taking that thing well inside the attack line. Big block against Mayfield, Lydia Martin, an intimidating presence.
Really nice discipline stopping the back row attack, and that ball catches the line. Hands turned back into the court on the block.
Fourth different stuff block from Martin. Anna Maddox for the kill.
Another nice swing on the left side, but it's gonna come down to defense. Can Vegas Thrill make some stops, score some points, and get close? Because this is a must-win set for Vegas.
Chaich continues to deliver. Vegas has a nationally televised match on Sunday against Grand Rapids on CBS Sports Network. Indy's gonna play at Omaha on YouTube on Sunday. Both teams playing again on Sunday. Chaich is one off a season-high kills. Now gets to serve. And DeBeer contributes.
Anna DeBeer works the inside of the block, but Taylor with the dig. Transition offense, and Anna DeBeer the recipient of that set.
Now the Ignite within two. Maddox can be a dangerous server. That's close and out. Martin, the hitting error. Vegas staying alive for now. And a challenge for Indy. Block touch is the reason for this challenge. It's the most common reason for a challenge in volleyball.
Bolt 6 has the slow-mo replay where you can really detect the finger movement, and that's one of the things I love about this system.
And they figure it out quickly, and they determined that there was no block touch. Challenge unsuccessful.
You see the super slow-mo, you watch the fingers, no block touch, quick replay. Back to play.
There we go. Be a longer delay if there was a spot on the court they had to mop. Very, very quick from Bolt 6 technology, and Martin gives the Ignite a match point.
I'll tell you, Hannah Maddox bombed this serve for Vegas. Elena Scott lays it out, perfect pass, able to run the middle to Lydia Martin. That was a fantastic play for the Indy Ignite.
Scott, 17 digs, 76% in system passing. Making her second start in a row at libero. Johnson off the block. Childress was ready. Out of system, Mayfield. It's out, and the Ignite open up the second half of the season, coming out of the All-Star break with a 3-1 win.
Home court advantage paid off for Indy Ignite, but they really had to start executing after the second set, cleaned up their errors, and were really firing on all cylinders. But I think DeBeer in the lineup, helping Elena Scott really control the passing game for the Indy Ignite team.
With 9 All-Stars as a part of this matchup in the same venue as the All-Star match just occurred days ago, Indy prevails in 4, and Anna DeBeer making her first ever pro start.
The entire volleyball community has been waiting for it, as has she. She did not disappoint. A little bit of a slow start, but got things going and really helped this Indy Ignite team fire on all cylinders with her superb passing and her transition kills.
She wound up with 8 kills, 11 digs, past 70% in system. Indy as a team was 63%, an outstanding first contact team tonight. And DeBeer, who really had a rough go of it through her first 4 or 5 swings, so her numbers efficiency-wise don't look as good as the night that she really had for Indy. And the updated standings after this one, again, some of the top teams in the league were all playing each other earlier tonight. Orlando finishing off the sweep over Omaha, and then Vegas and India right there near the top as well. They are now even after this match.
And let's talk about it. Indy Ignite was able to get this win without their star player, Lakator Member-Mena, who's coming back from an ankle sprain. So the troops rallied, and Indy Ignite was impressive today in their win.
Think about the depth they have on the outside now with Chayich, DeBeer, and Member-Mena coming back soon. A fun one here tonight. Indy takes it in 4. For Holly McPeak and our entire fantastic crew led by producer Jeff Graham and director Kevin Shank, AJ Cadell saying so long from the Fishers Event Center in Fishers, Indiana. Thanks so much for watching this presentation of the Pro Volleyball Federation on Fox Sports 1.